Hello everybody, this is Shane R. Monroe, and I have been talking for decades about how fantastic of an arcade shooter Deluxe Galaga for the Commodore Amiga is. I love it. I think it's an amazing thing to have on your Steam Deck. So today we are going to show you how to do just that. Stick around and let's get to it. All right, so we're going to be working in desktop mode most of the time here. We're going to go ahead and head over to the official Deluxe Galaga website where there's a nice, easy to use Windows installer that's already set up to do most of the dirty work for us. So we're going to use that with Proton compatibility layer to get this working. We're going to head over to the newly added Steam Deck tutorial section, and we need a couple of files. We're going to go ahead and grab that installer for Windows because it's almost 100% ready to roll. And then we're going to grab the art pack that has a bunch of graphics that I created to put into Steam to make it look nice. We're going to need this launcher options here later. So let's not close the browser. We're just going to minimize it and we'll be back to get it in a minute. Okay, so we're going to go into Steam just like we would any other non-Steam game. And we'll browse, head over to your downloads folder. In this case, we're already here, but we do have to change to all files so that we can see the Windows installer exe. And it is, as you can see, oops, right there. So let's grab that. Excellent. And then we'll add selected programs. Let's go and unpack that artwork so we have access to it. We're going to jump on down to Dolphin real quick and go to our downloads folder and extract that artwork just so that we have it. There's various opportunities along the way that we can set the artwork so we don't have to double back. Great. So now let's go back and look at our entry. Deluxe Galaga AGA install XE, perfect. Now this is a Windows installer, so we are going to have to turn on Proton to make this guy work right. It doesn't really matter which version you use, whatever the default one that comes up when you check force use will probably be fine. So the first time we run this, of course, is the installer piece of the equation. So this is going to create that Proton folder for us and install all of these files there. So let's go ahead and follow the basic instructions here. Do not launch the game after we do the install, though. We have a couple more things we need to do. All right, so it is installed now. So now we can actually go in. We're no longer installing anymore. We actually have Deluxe Galaga, the game. So we're going to go ahead and change the name, right? These are all little things we can just minimize the amount of traffic we have to do coming back and forth to settings. And you might be tempted to set the icon while you're here. That would make sense, right? You might as well set it while we're in here monkeying around. And hey, that looks great. The problem is when we change our target, it's going to wipe that out. All right, so now we have to go find that stupid Proton folder. And the easiest way to do it, I'm telling you, is with Dolphin. So go to the compat data folder, right? Here's a nice little easy way to get to it. Sort by modified and look for a folder that says just now. That's actually the folder that Proton created. It's a lot easier to find it that way. Dig yourself all the way down to the Deluxe Galaga folder, because that's where the executable is. Grab that whole path. This is why I say you need a mouse and keyboard, folks. This is a lot easier. Grab that full path, and then hit Browse on your entry, your launcher entry. Go to that folder. Boom, and now you're ready to just add the exe. Super, super simple. Well, not super simple, but easier. Okay, and you'll notice, of course, we did lose our icon. So we could go back and put it back in here again, of course, but you know what? We're going to do all the skinning at the same time. So let's just stop this for now, and we'll get back to doing the visual appeal a little bit later on. Okay, so now there's a couple more things we need to do. Go into the configurations folder under Deluxe Galaga, find the AGA full screen file name and rename it. You have to grab the extension to dg.uae. This will help us later. And the next thing we have to do is the hard part. We got to get that Kickstart. We need Kickstart 3.1 or kick31.rom. I can't give that to you. It's a copyrighted piece and it's still being sold and monetized. And I happen to know the guys that are actually selling it, so I'm not going to screw them over. I do, however, happen to have my own local copy. You can find one, get one, dump it from your Amiga. There's a million ways of doing this. I just can't provide it to you. And there's a checksum, an MD5 checksum for the right version. You'll probably find the wrong one and it'll piss you off. Just use a MD5 checksum. All right, we're done with the file manager. We're done with that, right? So we do have to run Deluxe Galaga one time and interfere with the WinUAE tool here. And I'm not a huge fan of having to go in here, but go to Paths. Under System ROMs, we're going to change that path. Now, as soon as we get in here, it starts trying to take control of the keyboard. It tries to change the windows around. You see I'm trying to click here and it's just not working. You see how it's flickering? Try to minimize as many windows as you can and try to navigate yourself here in the file manager. You might have to move it around a little bit. I don't know why. You see, it tries to keep invoking the keyboard. The best thing you can do is just keep at it. So as you can see, I'm navigating myself to Kickstarts. That's where we need that path to be. And we're going to see, I'm sitting here fighting with it. And there's no indication as to why it's not giving me back mouse control. So there's several things you might have to do. You might close Steam, reopen it. See, it keeps trying to launch the keyboard when you don't want it to. It's a pain. But you'll have to get through this because we need both of these. There's two different paths we need to add. So I'm going to get rid of some of the other issues I have, and we're just going to skip right ahead to where we have both of these folders configured correctly. Okay, so we now have both Kickstart and configuration set in our two folders. This is all that we need. I'm going to provide you with a link to those at the bottom so that you can grab those and just cut and paste them. I think that's the easiest way to do it other than trying to navigate. So let's go back to our properties here. We're now ready to add this launcher item. So we're going to grab this launcher option and we're going to paste that right in here. That's going to force the application to load with no UI and immediately run the correct configuration that we want. Yes, now we can go ahead and start skinning this thing to make it look a little less ugly. I know for some people it makes them crazy to see blank empty box spots. So we're going to go ahead and add that icon. Bring back our interface here and we can go ahead and right click up here. Set a custom background. I wish it would just keep the last folder we opened. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, downloads, banner. There, now it's starting to look a little better. We'll set the custom logo to match the icon. Perfect. That looks pretty good. I like that. Okay, so now, oh yeah, there's one more other thing we can do here. We can go to find it in the install list here, and then you can right click this box and you can also change that artwork. I've included a box as well. There we go. Now it looks nice. Now it looks nice. Unfortunately, the last plate icon is still going to show blank, but we can fix that later. Okay, so it should be good to go. I mean, we've done everything that we need to do so far. We set our configurations. We added our launcher options. We've added artwork. We should be ready to go. Okay, it's going to launch. Perfect. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. I love it. Now, hopefully you have a keyboard attached because you're going to need to Alt F4 to get out of this. There is no proper exit from here. But let's just go ahead and make sure, let's finish making sure it runs first. Okay, good. So we got Deluxe Galaga all the way up and yeah, okay, so we know that it works. So we're going to need to get out of here. Now you can hit escape and then Y for yes, but you're still stuck at the Amiga DOS screen. Alt F4 is how you get out of here. So hopefully you had a keyboard installed. Okay, so I think now what we need to do is start getting some configuration stuff done so that you don't have to worry about hitting Alt F4. And we're going to go ahead and do all of that by switching back over to gaming mode. This is where we can do all of our controller configuration magic. And I see that it has once again not resized properly, so I will unplug and plug back in my HDMI cable. Little extra hint for you, for those of you who are looking to have a dock. There we go, now it's back to normal. Now see, here you go. See how it says the recent games and it's got an empty box there? We can't set that, unfortunately, from here. It'd be cool if I could, but there's no way to actually add an icon here, so, or a graphic. So we're gonna have to go back to the desktop mode to do that later. But first things first, let's get the controller configuration all set up. As you can see, here's mine, Deluxe Galaga official website version for Steam Deck. I did submit it, I uploaded it, we'll see if it actually is available for you to find. But since it may not be, I took L5, one of the back paddles, and I made it the Alt key, and R5 I made F4. So you can hold down one button, hit the other one, and it does an Alt F4 for you and exits. Under buttons, A I have assigned to be the right control key, which is fire. B is E for turn on sound effects instead of music. X is P for pausing the game, and then Y I just left as the Y button because I really didn't need another key. And of course, as you see, as we mentioned earlier, L5 and R5 are the Alt and F4. And I also took the menu button and the start button and changed those to pause and escape, which sort of made sense to me. All right, so I mean, this is it. I mean, we've got the game running. We've now got controls befitting of it. We can get out of the game easily from the gaming mode side. I think we're in good shape here to give it a test run. Let's do it. There we go. He's almost there. Sweet. All right, we have it up and running. This looks great. If you hit up on the D-pad when you get to that menu, there's a whole bunch of options you can choose. Changing the music for sound effects. I prefer to hear sound effects versus music, but that's why I have a shortcut key for it. Okay, we'll test out our controls a little bit. You really only need right and left because you don't need to go up and down, but that's okay. It all seems to work out okay. Great. Yeah, this is looking great. Let's skip that. I don't really want to warp ahead, but everything is playing as I would expect it to. There's my pause. That works out okay. Pause for the other button looks good. Boom. Collect the gems. Okay. That looks okay to me. So let's go ahead, hit the escape, and if you hit left on the D-pad, it'll actually simulate the word yes. Unfortunately, you still can't get out without Alt F4, so yeah, we have what we have. All right, this looks good. So let's go ahead, and now that we've played the game and it now shows up in our recently played, we now can jump back over to desktop mode and we can add that last graphic to make this complete, which is to change that recently played game's void into something that looks good. There it is right there, recent games, right click and manage, set custom artwork. Again, go back to our downloads folder. All right, and then we'll just put our banner there. It'll fit, it looks okay. Sweet. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed looking at this. I hope you enjoy the game. I mean, I cannot tell you how many billions of hours I've put into Deluxe Galaga. It's ridiculous. I hope you enjoy it. Please like, subscribe. You guys know the drill. As always, thanks so much for watching. More Steam Deck videos coming your way. Take care.